Hello and welcome to I usually do 4 indie palettes for looks, but today we're actually doing 6 indie palettes, 6 different looks. This is way more than I usually do. I usually, like I said, I do way less, but I have been traveling a lot, so I did have quite a few palettes that I was going through. So we're just going to be going through 6 different indie palettes, indie releases. Some of them have more than one product. I'm going to show you some swatches in the beginning, and then I'm going to do a demo. And at the end of this video, I am going to tell you which one is my personal favorite. And after each look, I also give you some just first impression thoughts on these palettes. All of these have been sent to me as PR, and I do have, yes, I think with all of these brands, you can use an affiliate code. Mine is Angelica, and you'll get some money off on your order. This video is not sponsored though. I do have other palettes that I could have used in this video as well, but these are just the 6 palettes that I was the most intrigued by, digging into and making some looks with. If you love these kind of videos, please let me know down below. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe as well, because I love reviewing indie makeup on this channel, but sometimes we just have to do these roundup videos so that we can keep up with all the new releases. And also remember, this is not a shop with me video. If you're not in the market for buying any new palettes, just see this as a 6 different colorful eyeshadow tutorials in one video. You can always shop your stash, finding something similar in your collection, because I will be showing you some swatches and maybe you can be like, oh, I have something like that at home. Just see this as an inspiration video. But if you were having your eye on any of these palettes, I'll show you some swatches, I'll give you some insight if you were in a shopping mood and if you were looking to try out these palettes. Let me just quickly go through which palettes it's going to be. It is the Harvest of Souls from Fantasy Cosmetica. It is the Nutty by Nature by Ensley. It's like this little 6-pan thing. And the one from Fantasy Cosmetica looks like this. It is the Divination, Robert Welsh and Nomad Cosmetics. It's this big one. We have the Calavera palette by Gourmande, which is the palette that I have on my eyes right now. This is going to be look number 6. It is this bright palette right here. We also have the Vamp palette by Beauté. It is their Halloween palette. It is this red, purple, grungy thing. And then we have the Nomad Cosmetics and Chicago Speakeasy palette, which is this one right here. So let's dive into these palettes. I will put chapters as well if you want to jump around a little bit, but I hope you enjoy these looks and let's jump in. So the first look is going to be with the Harvest of Souls, and I'm dying to get the contrast between this one and this one. I really think that that is going to be so cool. So I think I'm going to start with this one, and I also want to use this one, the pastel, it's a pastel purple. Let me start with this one, and then I'm going to deepen it up with this one, the black. I think this is going to be cool. This one is called Ambition. Oh, I've been so looking forward to trying this one ever since I saw this one being revealed. Look at that. Ever since I saw this one being revealed, I was like so excited, and I was traveling when I saw this one being revealed, and I was like, yes, I will definitely dig into this one. I'm just going to put this in my crease and blend it out. It goes on beautifully. I'm not going to put it in the inner part here. I'm going to do 2/3. This is the color Sacrifice, which is the burgundy. I think we're going to do that on the lower lash line. I just really want to play with the pastel purple too, and I think that this will work with that. We'll see. And this is, I don't know if it's a matte black or if it's like a black and green, but I think it's gonna probably pull a little green when I put it on top of this. And I'm gonna use this in the outer corner to deepen up this look before we start going in with any of the pastels or any of the shimmers. I'm gonna start with Patience, which is the pastel purple. And I kind of want to start with that on my lower lash line. And I'm going to see if I can blend that into this other shade too. I just want to experiment with contrasts in this look. You know that that's like my favorite thing when it comes to eye makeup, is just playing with contrasts. And then just layering a little bit of that burgundy shade again. Just trying to blend them together a little bit. I do think that that looks pretty cool. Okay, my goal is to use that pastel, like almost bright pea green, and I think I'm gonna use this shade together. It's called Obsession, but I think I'm gonna start with a matte that's called Poison. I do think that that's gonna be really cool. I'm cleaning off this one that I just used. So here goes nothing. I'm just gonna not blend, I'm just gonna press this in, because these pastels, they end up being much more pigmented if you use a flat brush. And especially this one, I did design this one specifically to pick up shades really well, and it's such a great brush for pastels because it just really lends itself to pick up a lot. So I'm just gonna pack this in here and just add a little bit here as well. And I think I'm gonna do a little bit more of Patience, which is that pastel purple, and I'm just gonna add a little bit more towards the inner corner to like blend these together and really accentuate, or like put a lot of focus into the contrast between cool tones, warm tones, brights, and like pastels and mattes and like all that. So now we're gonna go in with Obsession, which is the shimmer. I can tell that there's a little bit of a duochrome in this one, and I'm definitely gonna spray it because, as you can see, I've put down mattes almost everywhere. So I'm gonna have this one be the bridge between the pastel and the more grungy colors in the outer corner. So I'm putting this one here. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and then I'm gonna blend this together, or like merge the edges by using a little bit more mattes. This is a really pretty metallic with some duochrome. You can tell there's a little blue purple going on. Okay, more of the Poison, which is the pastel matte, and I'm buffing that on the edge here to make sure that these blend together. And then with the small brush, we're doing Necromancer, which is the black, and again we're just putting that over here to make sure that everything is just looking somewhat buffed. And also with the brush that I had, the green, I'm just gonna buff up here as well, just pressing on some more mattes to make sure that we don't have any like at least super sharp edges. That might be it. I think I'm gonna try and find like a berry liner for the waterline, and of course we're gonna do some mascara. I'm having some mascara just to like blacken my lashes, but let me finish this look up and we can see how it's all looking. Okay, so this is my look with, I keep forgetting the name, Harvest of Souls. I really like the look. I think it's super pretty. It turned out very dramatic. Like I said, I'm trying to go to IKEA today, so that will be something. Of course, you can keep it a little bit more modest and don't use as many colors, and don't put it like as high up, because with makeup looks, the closer you bring it to the brows, the more dramatic the makeup is gonna look. But I also think that if you have a little bit of hooded eyes, bringing it above the crease is gonna make your hood less apparent. That's also something to remember, because if your shadow just gets lost in the hood, it's gonna make your eyes look smaller. So if you're like me, have a little bit of a hood on your eyes, remember to take the shadow above the hood. That was just random tip of the day. Overall, really like the quality of these shadows. I think everything is looking really beautiful. I think this is the good Fantasy Cosmetica formula, and I am super excited that I have this palette in my collection. It is as beautiful as when I saw it being revealed when I was sitting in, I think, Australia, and I was like, oh, cannot wait to get home and use this palette. So far so good. Let's get into look number 2. I'm just gonna start this look with like a lip balm because I have dry lips, and also I want to do like a little try on reel with a lip color, and I'll do that at the end when I have my eyeshadows on. But we are gonna do the Nutty by Nature by Ensley. I got this palette in literally today, and it is so cute. And I'm gonna be 100% honest with you, when I saw this palette I thought these mattes are perfection. Brown and yellow, these are my kind of neutrals, but I don't love the selection of shimmers. The quality, I mean, you've seen the swatches. I have no doubt that the swatches are going to be incredible. I have no doubt that the quality is going to be incredible. I'm just not jiving with the colors. It is a pale gray purple to green, and then a red to a gold. I don't think that it goes with the mattes. I'm going to be honest with you. I wish that this would have been a neutral color with holographic shimmer and a yellow to peach duochrome, or one of those like yellow with green duochromes. Even that, I just don't, I'm gonna be nitpicky, I don't understand the color choices. Again, I understand that I sound negative because I love Ensley. I just don't love those shimmers together, so I'm gonna do an all matte look. This is the Nutty Neighbor. This was a long spiel in the beginning of me being like critical. I will say, I can already tell you right now, I am gonna pull these two colors like shimmers out of this palette. I'm gonna put in the two colors that I mentioned because I know Ensley does something similar, and that's gonna be my new travel palette. Like, I can already tell you that. We don't need a crystal ball for me to tell you that. That is happening. But I'm gonna do an all matte look, and I'm starting with this one in the crease. I'm not gonna put it in the outer corner because I'm gonna do that dark brown, and I wanna make sure that that is as pigmented as possible. But look at that. The Ensley mattes are just so nice. So nice. Like, so incredibly nice. Let me do the same on the lower lash line too. So now on a small blending brush, we're gonna do the dark brown. This is called Nut Job. And I am just gonna do, I think, the crease and the outer corner. I'm not gonna try and blend it high. I just want this to be dark, and then we'll see if we can like have some kind of a happy merge of some type. You can always go back and forth with the mattes as well, because clearly, as you can tell, there is a big difference in how deep this one is and how like lighter mid-tone the other one is. So sometimes when you try to blend shadows together that are like pretty far from each other, you just have to go back and forth, which is fine. I know the quality of Ensley, and I know that if I slowly but surely go between these two colors, I am gonna be able to make them blend together. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna use this one, the Forget Me Not, which is cute. And I'm gonna use this one again on the lid and in the inner corner. And I'm gonna start with the pastel yellow, and then we are gonna bridge in between here with some of the other ones. That is so nice. I love an all matte look, and it's been a hot minute since we did some, I think. I mean, I do a lot of all matte looks in my everyday life. Like, if you saw the Get Ready With Me that I did from Australia kind of recently, at least when I'm filming this, or if you ever see me on my vlog channel, I always have my second channel linked down below, you might see that I actually do quite a lot of all matte things because I love all matte eye looks. But it's not always what the internet loves. So I try to balance it out a little bit. People always say that like, oh, you shouldn't do like too many matte shadows when you get older. I'm 40, I don't feel old, but that's what people tell me. They're like, oh, you should be doing more satins in your crease. But I can tell you right now, nothing makes me feel like my eyes look less textured than an all matte eye look. So don't say you don't like it until you try it. Now that we've gotten to this part, I'm gonna use the Nutty Neighborhood again, which is this shade, And we are gonna put that in between. Oh, I actually like that. And now I'm just gonna blend these together a little bit. And with the dark brown too. It's not gonna be 100% blended. I'm not trying to get perfection. You are getting this way closer than anyone in real life ever will. So don't get too obsessed with like details or trying to make it Instagram perfect, because I can tell you right now, not even Instagram is Instagram perfect if you would to look at the raw footage before it's been edited or see them in real life. I think that looks really cool. Let me do some eyeliner actually. I feel like that could be something good. I think I'm gonna do even in the inner corner. Ooh, this is gonna be sexy. Okay, I'm really feeling this eye look. I think this is so sexy. So I'm gonna put on a half lash. I'm gonna do that thing with the, I'm actually wearing this one. I'm wearing the new ABH Lip Velvet. This one is in cool brown, right? Yes, cool brown. I am gonna be doing that one, and then we can see the final look, but is that not so cool? This is such a cute palette. Again, I am gonna switch out the two shimmers, not because I think they're bad quality, they're just not the shimmers that me personally, what I would put into the palette. But the two browns and the two yellows honestly make this the almost perfect companion palette for me. Love the Ensley Rain formula. The mattes are incredible. I am loving how this look is looking. And if you're like me, if you have more a golden undertone, if you love warm shadows but you don't want to commit to red, or maybe you're over orange, this might be a perfect neutral palette for you. Again, for me, I'm gonna switch out the two shimmers. Personal preference, but Ensley Rain do not disappoint with the quality, and I am really excited about this look. I think it's gorgeous. Now, let's get into the next one. It is time for a third look, and we are going to play with the Divination palette by Nomad Cosmetics and Robert Welsh. This is the collab that they did together. I do have the lashes as well, so we're clearly putting those on at the end. And I have the gloss, so I don't have anything on my lips. I thought maybe we could do the green one. I'm like, this one. It looks so cool. It is called Good Fortune, which is what I'm hoping for this look. I even put on this really like murky green dress, which is so heavy. It's a silky dress. It consists of like 2 million kilos of fabric. Oh, this has a plastic applicator. Okay. That's not my preferred applicator, but I do love that, like, clearly this is something that Robert likes. Otherwise, he wouldn't have picked this, because this isn't the normal applicator that they do for the glosses. I'm excited that they let him, like, do this much of customization. A green gloss will work pretty similarly to how like a green color corrector will work on the skin, which is it will cancel out some redness. So if you want to take out some redness in your lips, and I know that Robert is opting for a more natural or neutral lip, I definitely think that something like this could be really cool. It also smells very interesting, almost like a sweet apple. It's hard to explain, almost like a toffee apple. I really have not been that much on YouTube as of late. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I wish that I've had more time to watch YouTube videos and not just create them. And putting the box away, the reveal of the Robert Welsh and Blend Money collection, the video that he did, it's still on my watch later list. So I'm not 100% sure if that is what he had in mind, but it does work really good. So let's dive into the palette. You've already seen the swatches, and I've already swatched this palette, and I already know that I want to play with the top two rows. Okay, primer is on, and we are gonna dive into these shades. So I love doing a yellow and a green look, but I kind of want to be, I don't want to say smarter about it because I'm not that smart, but I kind of want to do like a yellow going into a green. So it's like a two-toned look, but it's still leaning very warm. So I might just start out with a dark green in the outer corner and we'll like take it from there. So this one is called 13. And I'm just gonna, with a very small brush, I'm just gonna put this in the outer V because I want to make sure, and this is like something to remember, and I talk about this so much, but I think it bears like a reminding. If you want a color to look the way that it does in the pan, like if you want a dark color to be as dark as it is in the pan, you do almost always have to start with that color. And I do want the green to be as dark as it is in the pan. I would like to avoid working with a black if possible. So for that reason, I'm starting with the dark green, because if I put it on top of something lighter, they're gonna blend together and the dark green is just not gonna be the same undertone or the same kind of green anymore. So I'm gonna keep it like this, just not too much. I don't worry too much about blending because I am of course gonna be blending with a lighter color afterwards. So I'm mostly worried about like where do I want this color and just softening up the edges a little bit to make it easier to blend. And then with a smaller brush, we are gonna go into, I think I'm gonna skip this one. And I'm just gonna go in with Money. And then we're gonna do these two yellow shades in the inner part. So we're doing Money now. Oh, I love these kind of pastel. So pretty. There's a cute dog outside my window. Oh, it's like a little poodle. Love poodles. I think they're so cute. Like the little, like small ones, the mini poodles. Absolutely love those. And you can see I'm just tapping it on the edge and just starting to, again, map out where I want these things to be. And I'm bringing this lighter shade up a little bit more. And then we're gonna go back with the dark green and we're gonna reapply to make sure again that it is as dark as we want it to be. Okay, so when we have it like this, I'm probably gonna do the same on the lower lash line too, but let's wait a bit for that. I'm gonna do Aura and in the stars. In the send help. In the stars, not in the, why would they name it in the stars? Anyways, I'm gonna do the darker yellow, which is almost like a singe color. Very fun. I'm gonna do that in the inner corner. Not the inner corner, the inner part of the crease. And I'm not 100% sure how I want to do the shimmers yet. So I'm like trying to just figure stuff out as we go. Kind of want to do maybe like one of those like graphic liner things. That could be fun. Blending them together a little bit here. I mean, a green and a yellow. This is an orange yellow, but still a green and a yellow leaning color usually have a pretty nice time blending together if they are both like warm tone, which I mean, a yellow is always, but a green is not always. So I'm gonna do it like this. And now we're going in with the in the stars and not stairs. And I am just gonna buff a little bit on the outer edge just to soften this up a little bit and to like blend it in. Again, if you have a more of a cooler skin tone, you might not need this step because I have a warmer skin tone, so I can really fade the yellow into my skin. If you have a cooler skin tone and you start fading the yellow like this, it might turn into being a bruise. So I will say the closer the color that you're blending is to your undertone, the more you can fade it out. If it's not so close to your undertone, like if you have a cool skin tone, you can fade a cool tone purple much easier than I can. So don't overblend if the undertone is not the same as your skin, because overblending might end up looking a little bit like a bruise or not as good on your undertone. So I am with yellow because I do have a more golden undertone, but if you do not have that, you might be enough with just this Aura shade, this like orange shade. That might be enough for you. I'll do a little bit of that. Again, for the same reason, that pastel yellow out here, just like fading it in. I think I'm gonna do that concentrated as an inner corner highlight too. And you can see when I concentrate it and not buff it, it is a very nice pastel yellow. And this is how you can use the pastel yellow if you have a cold skin tone, as an inner corner highlight or as like a lid color, and just really concentrate it, not buffing or blending or floofing like I did before, but like actually putting it down. I think I'm gonna mimic the shades under the eyes as well, and then we can get into the shimmers, because I'm kind of thinking this one. It is like a yellow with like a lime green shift, and I'm kind of thinking that, and maybe this dark green that's called Lucky. Okay, so this is that yellow with like a lime green little shift, and we are just gonna put this, I think, like all over the lid. It's called Scry. Me putting extra effort into actually reading. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And I'm just gonna be covering my entire lid. And I would say going into the green as well. You can see this one is not a fully opaque metallic, which is something that I like. I like when it's a topper and you can see that when I put it over the green, it is just morphing into something a little bit more green. That is something that I prefer. Not everybody likes that, but I like that. I think it makes shadows versatile. It usually makes them very wearable when it comes to like texture on the lids, but I know it's not for everyone. So I'm gonna leave it like this, and I'm gonna take a little bit of the Lucky, which is that dark green. I'm gonna spray. I always spray my shimmers because I'm trying to avoid fallout. And I'm trying to be able to be like precise with my shimmers. So I'm putting a little bit of this dark green just on the edge. And then I'm gonna go back to the little brush and number 13, which is that dark green. And it's matte. I'm just putting that towards the like outer corner again, just to make sure that my outer corner is still as deep as possible and still matte, because I love that. So that's gonna be the look. Honestly, slay. Am I allowed to say that? Can you say that? I feel like I'm showing my age by saying slay. Like, we already know I was gonna say past my prime. Absolutely not. I'm in my prime. Been in my prime for, well, since I was born. Listen, toot your own horn. Nobody else is gonna do it. You better do it for yourself. Okay, so I used some liners in my waterline. I used the green one from Oden number 5, and I used the Makeup Revolution. This is the yellow Streamline eyeliner, and I used those in my waterline, and I put the lash on, like the more dramatic one. This one, not the half lash, but the more, not the half lash, the more I need help. I put that one on, and it's a really nice lash. I prefer something that is slightly more tapered, but I still think it's really nice. I did cut off a bit because I don't do like full strip lashes, because I feel like it closes off the inside of like my inner corner, but I think it's a really nice lash. This actually looks really nice. Oh, and my battery is dying, but yeah, I'm a big fan. I mean, I didn't think anything else. Robert Welsh has impeccable taste. Blend Money does amazing things. I didn't think that there's going to be anything else but like really good products, but this look it's kind of fire. So the look is finished, and I just spilled half a smoothie on this palette, so I hope it's still doing okay. My smoothie is not, but I think the palette is anyways. I will say, just from swatching this and from using this only once so far, I would say that this is the normal Blend Money quality. I always say this when I review Blend Money palettes, sooner or later, these palettes that are really big, there are borderline rainbow palettes, they are sooner or later gonna feel redundant. And I am excited to see what could be in the future for Blend Money, because I feel like even though this is pretty, even though this is beautiful, as someone who has tried each and every palette that Blend Money has released, and they're all great quality, I still can't help but thinking, yes, I'm sure these are not the exact same blues or turquoises that they've had from before, but sooner or later, it's going to be like, how many teal gradients can we have? With that being said, the top 2 rows of this Very unique, very beautiful. I love that there's like a almost a rosy peachy brown row that's really, really pretty as well. And I mean, I love the look. I think it's really beautiful. And there's more shimmers in this one than there normally is in the Blend Bunny palettes, which is also really nice and just a nice change. The lashes are really pretty. Definitely really like them. Not my absolute favorite style, but also we all have our like, oh, this is what I want in lashes. With that being said, I'm definitely going to keep using them. I think they look really, really good. The gloss is very comfortable. The applicator, again, is not my favorite applicator, but I really do enjoy how it looks on. And I like the idea of a green gloss because I will say, I actually really love a more milky nude gloss on me. And this green one is giving that effect because of like canceling out some of the redness on my lips, because I do have more of a pigmented lip color. And sometimes it's nice to have something that's just a little bit more muted. Overall, absolutely loving the look. Now let's get into the next one. So we are going to do a fourth look and then finally digging into the Nomad Chicago Speakeasy. And I always... Okay, I shouldn't say that. That's not true. But I tend to lean into the very colorful shades when I do looks like this. So I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do a brown crease and I'm going to use this in the inner corner. We'll see how this works out. Pray for me. So this is the Absinthe House and I hope... because I had a couple of guys, this is almost like a joke, but I had a couple of guys outside my window. I see them right now cutting rocks. Actually cutting rocks before, so I couldn't film before lunch. So I had some lunch and I was like, oh, they're gone. This is great. I sit down, I start talking to Linda, Glitter Fallout on Polo. I look out and the guys are back. If he starts cutting rocks again, I'm gonna lose my mind. Can you believe cutting rocks? And it was so loud, but I'm doing the lighter brown now. It's going on really pretty, really beautifully. Very big fan of that. That is stunning. I'm basically putting this brown a little higher up than I normally would do, just blending it out so that we can have a little bit of like a smoky, faded look. And then I'm gonna use the one that's next to it. It's called The Drunken Goat. I guess there's an insider story here that I'm not quite getting, but it is what it is. And we are just gonna deepen up the outer V with this color. That's really pretty actually. What kind of shimmer do I wanna do? Because we're gonna do a shimmer and then we're gonna do the green. And I'm of course gonna blend this a little better. I'm just putting on, because I'm just using one brush and I'm just putting on the dark shadow before I clean it off and blend out the edge. That's very pigmented. So blending the edge a bit. This is gonna be an easy look. And this is gonna be a look that's like, if you are more comfortable with neutrals, but you wanna dip your toes into something and not just do that typical colorful lower lash line or a neutral in the crease and a colorful shimmer on the lid. Like you want to try something a little bit different, I would definitely suggest this. Okay, so hear me out. I think I'm gonna do this light one. It's like a pink peach gold, like one of those like multi-chrome topper shades. I think I'm gonna do that to keep this light, and then we'll do the pastel green. I wonder if I'm gonna spray it or not. No, that's what I'm trying to say. I'm not gonna spray it. I'm just gonna make this be like a sheer topper shade on the lid. That's really pretty. So normally I spray my shadows to get them to be as opaque as possible, to not get any fallout, which I do get like this. But sometimes you're just looking for a different kind of result, which is what I'm doing today. So I'm just putting this shade and I'm putting it a little bit over the matte too, to get that like topper effect where the mattes are like peeking through. So I think, yeah, you can see it's like leaning a little like yellowy green, which is gonna be great with that green in the corner. I think I'm gonna do just a little bit here, just to have something to like blend into and to give some symmetry. And before we do the inner corner, you can see this is very much like a reddish peach going to like a green gold. I'm gonna do some mascara first, just to have this over and done with. Okay, so I have this like cool tone green that I'm gonna put in my waterline to really tie into that inner corner. And this is also a tip, because sometimes we do like a colored waterline to give it a little bit of extra fun, and that always works. I'm gonna show you what this looks like when you, main focus? No, when it looks like when you just do that. So I mean, this in of itself, it's a very pretty look, but we are gonna add, let me clean off that EO1 that we were using. I am gonna add with a flat brush the Green Mill, which is this matte pastel like pea green, and I am gonna add that in my inner corner. And this is such a nice way of like adding a little bit of fun to your look. It's just doing a neutral look with a matte pastel inner corner. It really gives you something extra. Like, look at how fun that is. I think that is so fun. I love how it goes together with the waterline. Big fan. So this is the look with the Chicago Speakeasy palette, and I really do like this look. Again, this is a little bit out of like, I don't want to say my comfort zone, but I always feel like when I do neutrals that I'm like, oh, I want to do more. I want to do more things. And this is a neutral crease. There is a multichrome on the lid, but it's one of those multichromes that together with neutrals, it kind of looks like a neutral, just a little bit more exciting. And I love a matte inner corner. And honestly, this pastel matte inner corner with the green waterline really is bringing something special. And if you have not tried a neutral eye with a pastel, you know, you can do pink, yellow, green, blue, whatever in your inner corner, I definitely suggest trying it out, because definitely is a pop of color without taking over the entire look. And I've only tried a couple of shades from this, but so far so good. I think this is the normal Nomad Cosmetics quality. I really like Nomad Cosmetics quality, and I also really like their mattes. They're pigmented, they're blendable, and you could see that they are buildable as well. And I also really like their shimmers. And one of the things that I really like with Nomad Cosmetics shimmer formula is that they tend to bring different formulas within a palette and different formulas in different palettes as well, which is something that I do truly appreciate. They're also one of these brands that haven't truly given up on just a classic good metallic or shimmer formula, which sometimes is exactly what we need. And I like this palette. I like this look, and let's get in. You are probably gonna think like this should be the fourth and final look. Actually, I probably talked about this in the beginning as well, but I am not gonna be able to have time to post this video within the next couple of days or even week, if we're gonna be honest. So I've decided to just expand and film at least one more look. We'll see if it ends up being 5 looks. Maybe it'll end up being 6 looks. Maybe it'll end up being 18 looks. Nobody knows, but I'm guessing, qualified guess, we're gonna have 1 or 2 more looks. So let's get into the 5th one, and new on this channel right now. It feels so weird to say welcome to my 5th look, but here we are, and I am finally doing something with if I could speak, with the Vamp palette by Bella Beauté Bar. Bella Beauté Bar is one of my favorite indie brands. I love their formula, and today I'm even wearing my fun little shirt. I am going out and about, and I want to do a smoky look so bad, and I want to use this one because it is a black base with a gold to a red, and I feel like doing a warm smoky eye. Don't come for me. I'm really feeling that. So I think I might start with Immortality, and I'm gonna do a smoky look, but I'm gonna do a smoky look a little bit I say a little bit because like, is it really? But like for me, I'm gonna do it a little bit like different than I usually do, which is that I'm not gonna pull the entire look up so high. So I'm gonna start with a red because I want this to be a smoky look with red because there is red in this one. But I think I might start with the red. I might deepen it up with Drained, which is this one, the dark red, but I think I'm gonna use this one. It's called, oh, Lestat, of course. I think I'm gonna use that one to really deepen it up at the end before we, or maybe even after, we'd put the shimmer on. But let's start with the red. I'm gonna keep it like that. I'm not gonna blend it higher than that. So I'm cleaning this brush off a bit. I have a Sigma color switch next to me, and I'm just gonna buff a little bit on this edge and just blend this out a little bit more, but I'm not gonna like over blend. I'm gonna try and keep it a little bit, I don't wanna say defined, but I'm not trying to get like a super blown out look. And now with the smaller EO2, I'm gonna do Drained, and I'm just gonna deepen up a little bit in the crease. So I did the exact same under my eyes too, and this is very dramatic. This is not gonna be like a soft eye, but I do have a lot more space, up a lot more, but like there is definitely more space up towards my brow today than what I usually do when I do dramatic looks like this. So I still feel proud that I was able to not pull it all the way up to the brow. So now we're gonna go in with this one. It's called Shadows, and then I'm gonna deepen it up with the Lestat one. I am so excited about this shade. I will definitely be like spraying this one because I want as little fallout as possible, and I want full opacity, and I just want it to be on the lid. Look at that. I'm so excited. I'm just so excited for this season where we do all the dramatic makeup. It just makes me very happy. Look at that shade. It's like a wet reddish black. Yum. I'm gonna soften up the edge towards the crease and allow, because this is a smoky eye, allow it to like flow into the mattes a little bit before we go in with that super dark matte that's got a blue tint to it. And now I'm thinking, do I want to do that under my eyes too? Or hear me out, do I just want to do this color? It's called Mikkelson, which I don't know. Mikkelson. Why it's, I'm not getting the vampire references. Shame on me. But let me soften this edge up, and I think I'll do the black matte with some shimmer under my eyes, because I feel like that's actually going to be better for the look than the more emollient metallic black. I think that this will be better. I'm just gonna line the lower lash line. I think that that looks really good. I'm gonna do black in my waterline. Just make sure that it is like all cohesive. Wow, that is like actually insane. Do I even need that other shade? I might not need it. Like that blue. I think I'm gonna keep it like this. I like that metallic. I usually don't do metallic all the way out, but because it's a smoky eye, it just really, I think I'm gonna keep it like this. It's so good. Usually I put a matte inner corner, but I thought today I'm gonna put this one that's called Skin of a Killer. It's a skin of a killer, Bella. Get it together, girl. Let's put this one, but I'm just gonna put it a little bit. I'm not, you see I have folds here, and if I put shimmer there, it's really gonna accentuate. So let me show you how I put shimmer in my inner corner without accentuating those folds, which basically the answer is in a very small area. So I am gonna put that literally here. That's about it. And I'm gonna drag it and blend it out a little bit towards the eye, but not towards the inner corner. I actually think that that looks really good. It catches the light I'm also going to be probably wearing my glasses today because I am going to be leaving the house. So I think that this will look really cool. Okay, before I put on the lashes, this is the final look. Also, look at how good my skin is looking today. But I think that it looks amazing. I just think it looks so cool. Big fan. I think it is kind of safe to say that I am very happy with my eye look, my whole makeup look, honestly. I think everything just looks really good. My hair doesn't look that good. Don't look at that. Don't look at my hair, look at my eyes. Not a hair influencer. I am really enjoying this palette. So far, I've only done one look, of course. I did swatch this palette beforehand, and all the colors just swatched amazingly, exactly the way that I am used to Bella Beauté bar swatching. The only two colors that are not my favorite are the two grays here, simply only because I don't reach for or love grays. It's not one of those colors that makes me excited. I feel more dread, existential dread wearing grays or working with grays. A lot of people tell me like, oh, grays are so pretty, and I just don't think it's fun. I don't think it's fun. So those won't be for me, but I know a lot of people will look at the addition of grays and say, yes, that is exactly what I want, because that is the little neutral corner in this palette, is like grays and a black instead of doing browns. But I'm really enjoying this, and I really want to do a purple and red combo. It's a combo that I really, really enjoy. So I think this is a really nice palette. I'm very excited to have this in my collection. So I am going to actually do a 6th look, and this is going to be a 6 palette, 6 looks. I know, and I don't know still what 6th palette I'm going to be using, but you'll find out right now. For the last palette, I have decided to do the Calavera by Gourmande. I got this palette before I went on my longer vacation, and I haven't been able to play with it properly. And you can see there's like this marble shade down here. Let me see if I can actually show you how this marble shade looks, because I took a picture on Instagram and maybe it shows a little bit better like how this looks. But this is a really fun rainbow palette. This is the biggest palette that Gourmande Girls has ever done, and it was inspired by the Day of the Dead, because the owner of Gourmande Girls, Christina, her grandparents are Mexican. So she wanted to honor her Mexican heritage. So we are gonna do a rainbow look. I'm very excited to be doing this today. I think sometimes I do a rainbow look that's like rainbow over the eyes, but I think today we're gonna do a rainbow look that's like, I'm gonna do blue. Okay. And I don't even know if this is like how it's supposed to be, but I'm gonna do blue, green, yellow, orange, red, pink, purple, I think. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So we're gonna start with the blue. I am gonna be using a bunch of these mattes, but I'm gonna start with this one. It's called Agua. And then I'm gonna do Celebration. And I'm gonna start with those two in my outer corner. And since I want this to be deep and pigmented, I'm gonna start with the dark blue first, to make sure that it's being the darkest color and not layering it on top of something lighter. But I'm not gonna make it I mean, it's gonna be dramatic, don't get it twisted, but I'm not gonna make this dark blue too much of the look. It's just gonna be the outer corner like this. And I'm just gonna buff on the edge a little bit before we go in with a slightly fluffier brush and the light blue. So let's put the light blue next to it and let's blend the edges with it. You can always reapply some of the dark blue afterwards if we want to. And now we're reapplying some of the dark blue to just intensify. So I'm gonna keep this a little bit on the lighter side. So I'm gonna do this green right here, that's a little lighter, and I'm gonna do this pastel yellow down here. I hope this is gonna turn out okay. We'll see. But I'm putting the green over here. Oh, that is such a cute color. And I'm just pressing this in because this is almost like a neon pastel, and those have a tendency of just needing to be like pressed down. There is a dark color here that's called Earth, and it is green, and I'm just gonna do a little bit on top, just mixing in. You can see just a little bit, just to take it a little bit more into the green territory before we go in with the yellow. What is this shade called? Copal? The pastel yellow? I think it's called Copal. I might be incorrect. We're gonna do that in the inner corner. I will say these shades are very lightly packed, so they're giving some fallout in the pan for sure. And I'm just packing this on because it's more like a neon pastel. So there is a brighter yellow that's called Marigold. I'll do a little bit of that on the lower lash line before we do the orange. And again, I'm just putting shades down. Orange. Actually, I think I'm gonna skip the red and go into the pink instead, and I'm gonna do this one. That's a little bit more of a muted, like not the cerise, but more like a warmer bubblegum. And I'm gonna do that. Oh my God, can you hear my dog? Somebody's delivering a package. I'm doing that next to it. And last, we're doing the purple that's called La Catrina. And we are gonna blend that into the blue. I think that that is so fun. Before we do a little shimmer, I think I'm gonna do white on my waterline and just put mascara on my waterline to have the look, like the down part of the eye, hello, be like done. So we can get a better look at like what we want. I think it's looking way more cohesive now that we have that done with the lower lash line. It makes it a little bit easier to like focus on what we wanna do. So I am gonna take a little bit of this one. I'm just gonna put my finger in it. Ooh! Ooh! I mean, can you see that? And let's just... Oh. Wow, that is so pretty. What a super pretty shade. I mean, I bet you could... It is a little marbled, so I bet that you could like pull in different parts of the shadow and get like different colors, but when I mix them together it almost makes this like jade green mint thing that's super pretty. I love that. Okay, so I think I'm gonna do this light green matte, the one that was called Vida. This one, I think I'm gonna do that and just put it on the, put it on the edge and mix it a bit, and then do a little bit more of that pastel yellow too. That was called Copal? I mean, that looks so cool. Let me do a little bit of the dark blue and just put that out here too. I'm going to like a brewery today. This is so fun. Okay, let me finish this up and we can talk about all of these palettes. So that is the finished look with the palette. I was able to do something that is like rainbowy, but maybe not like, it's almost leaning a little pastel and a little lighter, and I really like it. And then the little multicolored lower lash line, I really do enjoy that. So far, I mean, I've only used, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like, well, I've used a couple of the shades, but it is a big palette, so I don't know the quality of all of it, but so far so good. I will say there is a lot of kick up in the pan with these, and I don't necessarily mind that, but I will say these have a lot of kick up. But what I was able to do was really nice, and I do like that they're leaning a little bit more on like, yeah, the pastel, the neon pastel, because it gives you some variety in undertones, so it's not just one more rainbow palette. And this time we have so many palettes to talk about. I mean, we literally have 6 different palettes that I've done looks with, and usually when I do these videos I do 4 different palettes, but I was traveling for a long time and it's just, It was a lot. So which one is my favorite? I mean, I really do like a Blend Bunny and the quality. I think the look that I did with this one, which was my favorite look I did? I think honestly my favorite look was probably the one with Ensley Rain because it's an all matte. I love the yellow tones, and I think probably, if I'm gonna be totally honest, this will probably be the palette that I use the most, simply because when I do something that's leaning a little neutral, it is 99 times out of 100 is brown and yellow, and this one has that, and I think I will be reaching for it because of that. I might think that the Harvest of Souls might honestly be my favorite because I really like the tones in this one. I think the tones in this one is really intriguing, and if I were to do, if I had these 6 palettes in front of me and I didn't have any makeup on, this would probably be the one that I would choose to do another look with. Because I think it's a really fun color story. I love it going from light to dark. There's some pastels, there's some jewel tones, there's some grungy tones in here. I just think there's a lot of variety. And honestly, I think this palette is really nice. But all in all, these are all really nice palettes. I didn't have any problems with any of them. And I think it more comes down to like preferences. A lot of indie brands at this point in time are doing really high quality things. So it almost always comes down to like, what kind of color stories and how big of a palette are you looking for. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know your favorite down below, and I'll see you again tomorrow for a new indie release. Don't miss tomorrow's video. Bye.